Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I am Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. That's right, we're here for some Dungeons and Delving. This is a homebrew setting that I've been working on. We've got season 1 that you can check out and see the fun antics of this future game show that these characters were a part of. At the end of season 1, spoiler alert, if you hadn't seen it, characters wound up winning and got transported to, well, somewhere else. And so far, the character has been trying to figure out how to get out. Down in the description below, you'll find some cool links for where you can join myself and Dave at D&D in a Castle, as well as where you can find, all of these lovely people. So without further ado, I'm going to toss it to one of our players, which I'll roll here, and they'll say who they are, who they're playing, and what they remember from last session. That's going to be Carlos.
What is good, internet? My name's Carlos Rivera. I run the Volcanic Guy YouTube channel where I help you play like an adult. So what I remember from last session before responsibility took me away was we were doing a talent show, and after the event was completed, our big bestie Tabitha had a mind about crashing said party, and then started to doing a bunch of shenaniganery. And with that, I'm gonna pass it over to Enzo. Yes, on this side is Enzo for me. I don't know how it is on stream, but for me, it's this side.
All right, so Nerdarchist Dave here. I'm playing Enzo Belangere. He is a Battle Master rogue, part Battle Master, part rogue, all chef. He's here for cooking and cooking whatever we come across. He tried joining a cooking competition, but accidentally end up in Dungeons and Delving instead. Yes, we did have a talent show. Yes, Tabitha did crash it, and we did end up in one of her games of doom. In this case, it was the Wheel of Misfortune, where bad things would happen to us every round randomly, and also they kept stacking, piling up as the villagers were in danger. But I won't get into any specifics because I want to leave some for my friends to talk about. I'm going to throw it to you, Robin.
Okay, so hi, I'm Robin. I'll be playing ex-pop star turned hacker, very into the whole technology thing and the development bits, as it turns out. You know what I remember is being woken up in the middle of the night by a couple of drunken goons. Hey, Bobby, you want to take it?
Okay, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Bobby Partridge, and I am going to be playing Burke and Hefty. Burke is a Beastmaster Ranger, and Hefty is his Ganshuan companion. Ganshuans are a Nerdarchy thing. They're in the Fantastical Mounts, and also Burke is a Dwelf, which is a half-dwarf, half-elf. That's also a Nerdarchy thing that you can find in the different supplements that they put out. And Yeah, I remember that we had the Wheel of Misfortune, but the thing that was like super special and super terrible about it was that it took place in the village and the villagers were now at risk. So like they thought, and we had kind of thought that like if you're in the confines of the village fence, you're fine. But like clearly that's not true. So we need to figure out what's going on there. And that's where we left off.
So you guys completed, yet another game show and quote unquote game show. You know that when Tabitha has shown up, that there has been, these drones that fly around and record thing. You found through some hacking that Nebula did that there is some kind of signal going out, and that the happenings, here in Cast Off and the exterior, that there's apparently a dark web that's out there, and this show is being broadcast there. So someone out there happens to know stuff is going on here with these people that used to belong. So there's got to be some kind of additional profit being made. Otherwise, this wouldn't really be happening. Or maybe it's just for, some sick sadistic pleasure. You're not really sure. But one of the things that wasn't touched on was during the game, Nebula happened to cast the invisibility, and you observed one of your previous contestants happened to be watching, and you guys kind of interacted with them a little bit. And I believe that was a tabaxi by the name of Kayoko. Let's see here. Yep, I remember correctly. And they were with Team Flumps, which, as you may or may not remember, they had cheated, the last season, and were for a while the front runners that you guys, beat out as you got closer to the actual end of the season. And that apparently interfered with something. So now, Tabitha, spun her sword and disappeared as she has done previously. So I want everybody to make a perception check as she disappears.
That's good.
Christ. Okay.
Theoretically, I'm good at this. 27.
Dirty 20.
Bards are so broken.
24.
22.
I think we saw it.
All right. So you hadn't really been, paying attention as much because there's been a lot going on. But for whatever reason, you look at Tabitha whenever she does things, she's always spinning her sword to make stuff happen, whether she is rending the air and causing the scene around you guys to change, or whether when she disappears, she's always doing that. Well, as she disappears, you can, to those of you not proficient in tech, it just looks odd. But for Nebula, who is not only proficient but an actual expert, you can see that as she spins the sword, you're almost seeing like code happening. So that's what seems to be allowing her to kind of get away. She's literally writing some kind of code into wherever you guys are.
Can I make an attempt to parse as much of that as I can as she's doing it, since I can see it? I want to commit as much of it to memory as possible.
Give me just a straight intelligence check.
Okay. I have a point of inspiration. It is getting used now. Still only ends up at a 13.
All right, so it's not much. you have a snippet of code that's there. You aren't really sure where it is, but I imagine you pull out your device and you quickly type that in, star it, asterisk, what have you, and be like, all right, I've got something to possibly work with. But then in that moment, she's gone, uh, and the village rights itself, and those people that were unconscious, they begin to stir. Those people who were trapped and rescued or what have you, like they don't really seem to really acknowledge what had happened to them, even the guy who was drowning, but everybody seems to be okay. You rescued everyone, but as you realize, the actual danger that they were in did seem in every way, shape, or form legitimate. The halfling who was in the acid, like there are acid burns on her skin and on her clothing. The dude who was in the water is still soaking wet. They were not imaginary hazards that were placed before them.
Well, we should be getting back in there to see if everybody's okay and if anybody needs some aftercare.
Sure. So for a simple check around, like some basic healing, would not be amiss. But
Do
if
that.
you guys are also looking to go off, like they might be like, all right, well, we got that. If you're going off to go chase this person down, or whatever, depends upon what your plans for the day are as to what you want to do with your spells.
So I think we should just do like basic medicine checks on them and whatever we can do that way and let them kind of rest up. Because clearly we're what has drawn Tabitha to the town. So I think us being here is endangering the village more than it was before if she's never come here before and done the games. So I think our priority should be tracking her.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty sound decision.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I don't have my healing stuff prepared. I do have spare the dying prepared as my cantrip, but like anything. So if they're not dying, I'm gonna be like, hey, take a short rest. Use your hit points. Use your hit dice, all right, man. And walk it off. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
So, does that mean that we're going to be camping then in this wilderness environment, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Like it.
All right. Well, I suppose I should pack up then, and Mark's going to go pack up his stuff.
So does anyone have Lehman's Tiny Hut, the adventure version of glamping?
Nope.
I know for sure I do not.
Yeah, I know for sure I don't either. So we're roughing it. We're doing it like they did in the olden days, like AD&D style.
I'll grab a little special flask to drink from, and I'll grab whatever equipment I can use to start a fire if we need to do just that.
For sure.
Coolio.
So I think we had short rested last time.
Yeah, if you
towards
guys
the
want to
end.
take, if you're having a short rest at the end, whether that's after that, that's by all means you can gather your stuff, rest up, stretch out the woes and the worries from the unexpected in town game show. I imagine Enzo is pointed again towards that mountain range.
Yeah, that's the plan. Also, so I cooked stuff up, so you guys gain some extra hit points if you had spent any any dice. I believe that number is 5, unless it's a die. Which I'm working on figuring that out now.
So, Burke, I guess, will go around the town and just touch base with all of the villagers and tell them that I think that that is, our group sort of established that we think that Tabitha is seeking us out. And so rather than trying to protect you here, we're going to draw her away. So it's not that we wanted to leave all of you, it's just that seems to be best.
It was an extra die 8 if you guys had spent any hit dice. Bless you.
So you get the the general acknowledgement. Some question like, are you going for good? Are you going like just until this place offs you? Or are you going to try to find your way out, as you've said before? So they're looking for that kind of understanding.
We're going to find the way out, and then we're going to show you guys how to get out of here.
Oh man, left behind. Or woman. Or child.
No one gets left behind. Except for that guy. That freaking guy. I hate that guy.
Who was that guy?
I've just been a smart ass.
Is there all of a sudden a deep gnome here?
Maybe.
Chef Bob isn't here.
Yeah.
No, there was in the game that Dave and Carlos were in that I ran offline. There was a deep gnome that just everybody seemed to dislike.
No, that was the gray dwarf. That was the gray dwarf.
Oh, sorry, Gray Dwarf. My apologies.
But I liked him. Everyone else hated him. I tried to make him the captain, I think. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's funny as so, man.
But anyway, I digress.
So you you pack up your stuff and you begin to there's Relic Smallhammer, the door guard. That was the name. You pack up your stuff and you begin to set out from Cast Off and once more into the breach, dear friends, as you head off towards the mountains for, I think this is the 3rd, 4th time, I don't remember.
So,
Yeah, a lot of times.
So this time around when Arnold leaves, it's been a ritual for Arnold to say a prayer to the greatest gift up above. This time, knowing that his home's been violated, feeling that like his prayers have not really been answered, he forgoes that ritual for a second. Anyone paying attention can know it's like his face is more gloomier than ever and helps it forward.
Wow. So, there's generally acknowledgement when people are leaving. It's not just like, oh, everybody's going about their business. Like, there's always somebody that that is watching when people leave during daylight hours, and it's it's not even lunchtime yet. You guys got woken up fairly early. I think it was during breakfast that the game show started, and the game show doesn't last very long. Just a handful of minutes tops, and then it was over. So it's probably approaching noon as you guys set out towards those mountains. I imagine that Burke and Hefty are up front.
Yeah, we'll probably take the lead just because, Ranger and all that.
So do you ride Hefty in these situations, or does he just walk alongside you?
Sometimes I ride him, sometimes I walk alongside him. It just depends on what he's feeling in the day. Sort of like how it depends on if your cat sits on your lap or beside you on the couch. It just depends on the weather, the planets aligning, and how hungry they are. So, but yeah, actually, Burke will kind of look at Arnold and be like, Arnold, you seem like out of all of us, you probably have the most to kind of leave behind here, given how long you've been here. Are you okay?
I can't wait for it to be over. I mean, home. I mean, cast off. I mean, I'm not even sure what to call it at this point. Prison, home, place. It's not. I know it's not a place to have refuge anymore, at least. But when we're out, it'll be over. I guess that's all I do know at this moment.
Have you ever had to leave home before? I mean, like, really leave, not leave when you joined the, what were they called? And Burke starts listing off the different gifts except for you.
Gallant. Gallant Gifts.
Oh, right, the Gallant Gifts.
Yes. I mean, there was a crew I ran with back in the day. Nice folks, colorful folk, if you will, man. I mean, all I can say for sure, man, it feels like leaving one family for the next.
Well, Arnold has realistically a long a long story of working with people for a duration, being forced to move on for one reason or another, and having to to leave those behind. You had your time at the zoo, and then you had your time at place of mystery that you don't really talk about.
The Men in Black.
Then you have your time with the gifts that rescued you on the ship. Then you met up with these other gifts that you then came here, did the whole competition show, lost those brothers to something, and so now you're here saying goodbye to the family that's replaced your gift, that was cast off to go try and find a rescue. So you've got this almost repetitive cycle of pulling in and losing, so that could definitely affect your psyche.
Absolutely, that's the reason why Arnold's like, I don't know, more closed up at the moment. Like, how trained in insight is Burke?
Well, so he's not actually trained in insight, but he is observant, which gives him a passive insight of 13.
Yeah, this check is easy to make, man. Long story short, you would know, like, he's Arnold's really closing himself down, damn near forcefully. I mean, as he kind of slows down for a second, he'll be like, "I'm just gonna take up the rear, okay? Make sure no one gets left behind." Okay.
Okay.
You may want to get back up front and make sure you're leading us right.
Oh, Hefty's up there. He's very trustworthy.
well, well, I just want to make sure nothing sneaks up behind us.
Okay. If that's what you want, I hope I didn't upset you.
No. I just need a moment. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to get too attached at the moment.
I'm sorry I didn't remember you.
No, it's fine. Our team was a footnote, at best, in the history of the games. And what did it earn me? One-way ticket here in hell. I mean, hey, look. It's fine. It's all it can be at the moment. But, and he kind of like puts his hand around your shoulder, kind of like pops your chest for a second. But if we can get out of here, that is worth more than anything.
That would be worth a lot.
Yeah. I'll just, take up the rear, make sure nothing catches up behind us, alright?
Okay. I'll go back up front.
He, puts up his Scout's honor.
I'm not a scout, but I have honor.
Hey, good. That's all that matters.
I mean, if you're up front, you kind of are the scout. Ted, what is the terrain like?
So where you guys are now, it is, primarily like a patchy grasslands. There's a lot of, just poor soil quality. So like the grass is in patches, and there's not much in the way of trees. There's not much in the way of offering any kind of shade or blockages from the sun. And that alone has stopped some people from heading off to the mountains, just because, well, it's not desert quality heat. It's still not pleasant without something to offer shade.
So, I mean, we really don't have to travel in a straight line. We might want to like spread out a little bit. With probably, still with, Arnold, kind of lagging back a little bit to kind of be the rear guard, and then Burke up front kind of scouting a little bit. And then I'll stay kind of a little bit closer to Nebula because I'm a little bit more tanky.
Much appreciated.
But we're definitely not in a lightning bolt pattern.
That is hilarious.
We'll travel in the Wa. Use the wisdom of the geese.
Nebula, while we're traveling, do you have any song ideas you've been working on?
Excuse me. No, but I do have an idea for, and then she like starts going into this description of like some triple encrypted, like jargon filled techno babble thing. Like, it is not likely that any of you have any idea what she's talking about, but she is really laying into it thick.
So what is the techno babble that you're working on?
Yeah, it's for encryption. It is to keep people out of your nonsense. She was thinking about the like string of code that she got a couple minutes ago and how to like insulate that from observation. So she's got like some kind of scrambler in mind for just the visual effects that this sort of thing leaves. And she's just chattering away.
That would make a very good rap. And he starts beating a little beat to it. And she's techno babbling.
Mind
So-
you, I give no specific numbers because I know we're being watched.
So I
And
know
I don't want them to
Carlos.
steal this
So
or
I know
use it against me.
So I know Carlos, out of character, definitely knows about IT security and shit like that. But I don't know if Arnold would know that being an artificer. I don't think so, because artificer is more magical, not technology.
Sure. In this particular setting, magic and tech do kind of work a little
Intersect.
hand in hand. But tech is its own particular skill. But I mean, if you've got intelligence, you can always make a check and see if it's something that you understand or have a little bit of grounding in. It's entirely up to you how much exposure you've had to tech within this aspect of the world. I think you have
I would say at my best, I probably have a general understanding of what's going on, not necessarily the whole picture.
Sure.
Anything past the worst, you know.
So
Understood.
Nebula.
Arnold didn't get it. He's like, oh, okay. He's still in his feels.
Nebula, what got you into singing and performing to begin with, and what happened? Because I don't know, like once I got the bug to cook, like I couldn't think of anything else, and I couldn't imagine not cooking anymore or coming up with new recipes and trying out new things. But you don't seem to really care about music like you used to.
See, the thing is, I do like stringing together notes and things. I like figuring out the cadence. I like the measure of the beats and how you can quantify those things. But it was kind of like if you write music, you need to want to be at the top and be one of those stars that everybody is looking at on the screen. It means you have to get attention on you for yourself, or what are you? You have failed.
I get that. I'm competitive, but I feel like I would cook even if I only cooked for my friends and myself.
See, that's just it. The part I liked about it was the math. Music is very mathematic.
Oh, you're just a nerd.
Shut up. Coolest nerd you know.
That's accurate.
So you guys have, forced yourselves to become very proficient at paying attention. And as you're kind of having this conversation, I imagine you've taken one of the occasional breaks in your march to the mountains and pulling out your water skins and getting a drink. And most of the time, the typical sounds of nature, the wind or what have you in this area doesn't usually amount to much. But between the wind and the wind moving, the things across the almost barren plain, you're detecting a pattern. So you guys can make a intelligence check or a performance check, and Nebula, you can make it with advantage.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna make it with disadvantage because if at this point, if Arnold's taking a break, he's taking a swig of his flask and shit.
Sure.
Did you say performance with intelligence?
No. Either intelligence or performance.
26.
Natural 1.
26.
5. Dang, I didn't even get that low, bro.
So Nebula and Enzo, what is your reaction when there's no lyrics, but you distinctly hear the beat pattern of Taste My Boots?
I
immediately turned to Nebula with a surprised look on my face. It's back! You're back!
if you insist. And I will like put Freddie and David into the air, get some lights going. I'm gonna friggin' sing it.
So the the other drone that is always seems to follow, seems to shimmer in existence. At first, it appears behind you as you start, singing along to the beat pattern that's going with the wind and the rocks and what have you. And then as you kind of like get into, the the high points of the song, the thing comes into view that you can actually say it. And if you keep going, it just keeps following you and lets you do your thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I perform it. I perform the shit out of that song for just my friends and the drone, but
and everyone watching on the dark web.
they can choke on it.
But does not get met with any further harassment when you finish singing the song. The drone seems to shimmer back into not being seen anymore, and the wind dies down for a touch.
Arnold in his drunk stupor. Encore, encore.
Maybe
Really?
later.
We really should have brought a net with us.
What, like a butterfly net?
I mean, well, it doesn't have wings, so it wouldn't work. But no, like a fishing net.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we could get our hands on that drone, maybe you could do some techno mancy to it.
Damn. And the way that we get it to come back is by giving it something to look at.
Hey, Burke, you're a farmer. Can you weave a net?
Can I weave a net? Can I weave a net, DM?
Do you have either like weaver's tools or some other tool set that makes sense?
I have
Or
leatherworker's tools.
Or earthbind.
Other than that, like I might allow a survival check to try and make something, but I think a regular skill check to make something where tool sets make it, you're probably not getting a whole lot of use out of it.
That makes sense. I am net proficient at making nets. I can braid Hefty's hair though, and it looks very pretty.
Hey, what about you, Arnold? You make things, right? Probably make a lot of different things.
I can make anything, okay? At this point, Arnold drunk way too
Right, you're an
much.
artificer. You got to have like 4 or 5 tool sets. Are any of them useful?
That's the kind of hiccup there. Look, man.
He's got brewing, glass blowing, stonemasonry,
Leatherworking. I mean, yeah, I got the tools right here. As I start unpacking my brewing kit.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got
No,
something
you
for
can. Right, you can make any kind of tool, even if you don't have the proficiency in the tool set, right?
Yes, but Arnold's drunk right now, so
Yeah.
in character, he's just busting out his brewer's kit. If you need a tool, I got something for you right now, man. Okay, here. It cures outside boo-boos and inside boo-boos. as,
Inside boo boos.
That by the time we're done with this, we're gonna need a lot of that for the inside boo-boos, I think.
I'll open up my own bar.
But the DM said it was more about having the right tools for the job than the knowledge, so we could probably fake our way through if we had the right tools.
Would I be able to, like, grow vines into a net? Like, I have Druidcraft.
Do you have Entangle?
I have... I mean, I could have Entangle tomorrow if I prepare it.
Same thing with me. Like, I could get the right tools if I sleep it off.
The problem with trying to grow vines into a net, like making a net that's pliable and usable, takes significant work. If you grow things in a pattern and then try to clip it off to try and use it as a net, as it dries, it's gonna get brittle and not stay in the same pattern that you would want to use it. You have to kind of either have rope and weave it into the appropriate, pattern that it's then pliable and usable and what have you, or you have to get, plants and things that can be shaped and made malleable with oils and what have you, so that it can be usable over and over again for its intended purpose.
Well, we probably have rope.
Yeah. So
Probably
I
have the
just,
rope to do
I
it.
just read my ability. If I take an hour to do it, sure, I can magically pull anything out of my ass. But at this point in time, Arnold is drunk, so if you ask me to do that right now, I'm gonna roll evens or odds. And
Well, we wouldn't do it now. We would wait till a break anyway.
Okay. Well then, make sure Arnold doesn't drink anymore.
I'm gonna hit you with the smelling salts first. I'm gonna bust out an old dwarven remedy for drunkenness on our next break.
Oh.
You're gonna vomit a little bit, but after that you're gonna be fine.
Oh, wait, is that the one made with the cave moss and the mushrooms?
Of course.
It's also good for migraines.
My grandpa used to use it for hemorrhoids too.
That makes sense, I think.
It's the mushrooms and the moss.
Hmm.
I have a question. What's
What
the
was your
point?
question to?
Oh, to Burke.
Oh?
What's the point?
And he looks at your dagger and then looks at Enzo's sharp tools.
It's my shit's sheathed. It's fine. I mean, like.
The point? I use a staff. It's not very pointy.
No. I mean, like. We all die, right?
I mean, theoretically, that's generally how it works. I've heard of liches and some other creatures that can cheat death, but...
Shit, you're right. But us. I mean, like... We die here, we die somewhere else. What does it matter? We die. What's the point of it all? What is the point of trying our hardest to get out of here?
Well,
Just to kick the bucket anyway.
I guess it's a very cosmological question to ask. I suppose what I would say is that I think that everybody has a reason for living. And you find that reason, And it can be any number of things, and maybe there's a few reasons. But eventually, you make the world a little better, you make the cosmos a little better, and eventually it's a good place. And, really, the whole journey is just a big experience, and that's fun. And, if depending on what gods you follow, I suppose there's other purposes to life. As far as, is it Aaliyah that is his god?
Police.
Elise.
Power just flickered.
Oh.
So if
You
I
alright?
disappear, that's what happened.
Huh.
Good for now.
Yeah, it's storming near me too. If Elise and her rituals are to be believed, that life is about, well, the experience and the grand cycle. Life, it doesn't ever really stop. It just sort of recontextualizes over and over again. And, as you progress, everything just cycles. Why do we have the seasons? Why is there spring on one planet and then it goes straight to winter? Why does another planet have all four? Why does one have 12?
Because of the position of the sun. Look, I've been praying to my God every single day, before, after, and during I was encampment. Those prayers, everything was a waste of my time. We just damn nearly made it out.
Well, I don't want to come off as disrespectful to you or your giant hippo god, but
I'm sorry for laughing out of character.
But I mean, what my grandmother always told us, and she followed Elise with the butterflies, and now she seems to have gifted me. Religion and spirituality in general isn't really about what you can get out of it or what you put into it. It's kind of more, I don't know, a way you view things. And maybe your God is an almighty hippo-shaped vending machine of cosmic goodness. But as far as Elise goes, like, the dawn happens and the dusk happens, and it happens every day, and it's really nice and really beautiful. And it's not so much about asking for it to happen again, because we know it's gonna happen again. And it's not so much about asking for it not to happen, or for something to happen or not to happen. It's more just you enjoy it and you're grateful for it, and Elise kind of oversees that, and so you just kind of sit there and enjoy it in the here and now.
Why don't we just sit back for a second? I think you gifted this gift something to think about.
I mean, if your god is a hippo vending machine, that's cool too. Like, I could really go for a sandwich right now, actually. But
I mean, my God more or less dispenses democracy and freedom via firearms, but
oh, that's why you have the guns.
absolutely.
Well, the elven goddess of life and plants and butterflies and whatnot is a lot less vengeful and not very much about gunpowder, to be very honest, so I'm not very knowledgeable on that.
When we have time
what
on
are-
the other side, I'll tell you all that needs to be known about my God.
So what are Enzo and Nebula doing as this conversation happens?
Keep my eyes peeled for trouble or anything that might look tasty once it's been filleted and spiced properly.
Sure.
Trouble and glitches in the Matrix.
So as you're looking for trouble, you don't see anything, but you feel the wind change. And as opposed to coming from, side to side, kind of pushing against your side as you were walking, the wind changes direction, and now it's coming away from the mountains. And while there wasn't anything particularly great about the scent on the wind that was coming, from the side, the scent that's now like, basically barreling towards you, smells like swamp and foulness.
Hefty!
We do that outside, not inside, okay?
You're outside.
I know, I'm saying. Oh, that's funny.
So is that coming from the direction that we're going, or
Correct.
Arnold? There's a swamp between us and and the mountains.
A swamp? That doesn't make sense.
Well,
To your knowledge, there's never been a swamp here before.
are we going the right way? Can we see the mountains in the distance?
You can absolutely see the mountains.
And so I've been drinking. Okay. Okay, I've been drinking.
Yeah, we call that a Tuesday, Arnold.
A Tuesday, you say? Look, no, there's no swamp around here. You must be mistaken.
Well, we might have frog legs on the menu very shortly. That's what my nose is telling me.
You also happen to have those smelling salts nearby, would you?
I think I just have spices and stuff that I pull out, and they're not actual smelling salts. Which, if someone had a medicine kit or a healer's kit, that would probably have that in it. But that's not what I have. I'm just gonna be like, here, and I'm just gonna like give you some like cayenne pepper or something to sniff.
Okay, because like for as long as Arnold's drunk right now, like I'm gonna make every roll with disadvantage. Just saying.
I'm good with that.
So if you need me to be accurate, my dude, Enzo would definitely know from working in the kitchen and being around a bunch of angry drunk people. So occasionally, you're gonna need something to get my shit together.
So,
Yes.
Burke, how's Hefty doing a swamp? Can he swim?
Well, we were practicing that last season during the actual training montage. But Hefty normally is much like a mountain in multiple senses, and one of those is he sinks.
So he hasn't learned how to Ganchuan paddle yet?
Well, he hasn't really needed to, because every body of water we've been in, he just touches on the bottom.
The entire time you guys are having this conversation, he's like, "There is no swamp."
But I do have this handy dandy little device here, and he shows the Pokeball, and we'll recall Hefty into it. All right, buddy, time to go back in, unless we want to have to wash your fur for 3 hours tomorrow.
It's gonna take a lot of water to wash that much fur.
Does Hefty like baths?
It depends on the day.
I'm kind of picturing you getting more of the bath than Hefty.
That would be accurate.
But you know what they say, some days you chase the Ganchuan and some days the Ganchuan chases you.
Yes, that is true. Thankfully, they're quite slow. Well, comparatively.
So as you guys are having this conversation and finishing up your break, I imagine there are eyes out watching for things. And a moment ago, like you know, there was no swamp between you and the mountains, but you could smell it. Now you can see it.
I would like to do a ritual very quickly, and I would
Hey,
like
Arnold.
to just cast water breathing on all of us. Just as a precaution.
What? What you need? What you need, Enzo?
Well, I know you said there wasn't a swamp.
Yes.
Reach in, pull out into one of my packs, pull out a packet of cayenne pepper, and smack it on his snout and rub it all around his big nostrils to try and sober him up.
Like literally the burn of it. It's not even like the cayenne pepper, it's like the burn of it as it goes up and
In the sinuses, those freaking sinuses that are probably like rivers.
yeah, like so literally like his ears start
All right,
his
give me
eyes.
a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. Oh, I'm proficient in this. That's nice.
The worst part about this is I realized that I told you I cast water breathing, and in the past I've definitely described it as being a minty sensation. So he got minty sensation followed by cayenne pepper.
My total is 14. I don't know if that's enough.
So you feel the burn, and you really feel it.
Man, I
so you
wanted
take
to feel
five, just
I wanted to feel the burn in 2016, all right, man, but that's a different
so you take
conversation.
five points of damage.
Okay.
But you manage to shake off the drunkenness for the next hour.
God damn it, Enzo! As I kind of lift you up for a second, and then it's like, as I lift you up, and I see your little feet dangling, I can see in between your dangling legs, the swamp. What the hell? And I put you down gently.
Swamp.
This wasn't here before.
Well, those are words you can't say anymore.
Nebula, is this some shenaniganery from the coding of everything?
It would have rained. Something would have happened.
Unless it was coded here.
Modish. Arnold doesn't believe he's been living in a simulation.
I mean, we are.
What do you mean?
I mean, this place is quasi-real.
Am I now sober state? I sit down on a stump. At first, you piqued my interest, now you have my attention.
So I'm going to have my drones sit like slightly apart and then project a board for me to point at things on.
Sure.
And I'm gonna start explaining to you how this place is a pocket plane woven from technology and magic, interspersed together in an incredibly focused fabric, and that is creating our reality right now.
Literally, after the whole detailed, eloquent explanation, in damn near disbelief, I was like, shit! My last 2 years was not a simulation!
No, it wasn't, because you were here, but this place is not a natural plane. Just because it is not a natural plane doesn't mean it isn't real.
So the people back there
Are real. All the people are real.
Oh, thank God.
It's just that plant is synthetic rather than organic. But it's still real.
But I make my booze from these plants.
You're fake drunk.
No, you are not fake drunk. All of it is real. All of it exists. It just isn't organic. It just isn't natural.
There's definitely
Between
GMOs in
magic
that.
and technology, literally has the ability to make things that did not exist before exist. You know, with the magic of these things, sometimes things are created, and sometimes they are merely an illusion. And the things you've interacted with and fought and killed and harvested, it's been real, but it's been magicked into existence.
So
If what Nebula is saying is accurate.
So that is the understanding Carlos has. Arnold's just kind of like, am I real? If fake things can influence me, am I real or not?
No, you're real.
It's
Everything
okay.
is real.
It's okay, Nebula. He's full of very big questions today, I think.
I've been surviving off this stuff for 2 years. How many of my cells dissipated to the ether, replaced by this fake shit?
It's not fake. It's just, okay. Look, imagine for a second that somebody makes aluminum foil. Okay. Now that doesn't look the same as aluminum, the element that you find as a mineral unprocessed, right?
Well, clearly.
But the aluminum foil is still real,
Yes.
even though it's synthetic. That's this place. They took a bunch of stuff and put it together differently, and now it doesn't look the same. It's still real. It's just not naturally occurring. Do you understand now?
Okay. Yes, I see. So it's kind of like a habitat?
Yes.
What sick bastard would do that?
I don't know, but we need to find out.
I think the answer might be on the other side of this swamp.
As you say that, you know, it draws the attention back in the direction of the mountains. And you realize that while you can still see the mountains, you haven't gone anywhere. You've still been, stopped and talking, and whatever stuff you've left on the ground is still right there. But the water is like practically upon you. The scent is now overpowering, and you can now, as you're looking in that direction, see the soil around you start to fill up, and your feet kind of begin to sink just a little bit into the muck and the mire.
You're muted.
Oh no! I start.
Aren't you a hippo? Don't you love this shit?
Generally, yes, but not unless I want it.
Yeah. So like sinking is in like, oh, there's muck, or like sinking is in like quicksand.
Muck.
Okay.
Like you're not sinking. It's like, all right, the sides of my feet are dirty.
Okay.
Like, literally, Arnold hikes up his equipment. Oh no, this cannot get ruined. If what you're saying is real, Nebula, and all this is simulated, God knows how long it will take for me to get this equipment back. I dare not risk it.
Yeah, Burke is actually just straight up like, he takes his breastplate off, he takes his boots and his socks off, he puts all of it basically into his bag, and he rolls up his jeans up to like above his knees, and he's literally just sitting there like with his little farm shirt and jeans rolled up, and he's used to getting dirty like this, so he's ready.
I guess as we go, I'll try and find places that seem a little bit more stable, a little bit drier. so I don't get bogged down too much. So I'm
I
gonna,
am
like,
prepared
pick
to
my
burn a.
path.
Sorry.
So I'm just gonna pick my path more carefully. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I am prepared to burn a spell slot to Misty Step onto drier ground. It's like ASAP. This is gross. I don't want to do it. Like some things don't change, and one of them is that I don't like to be dirty.
But unfortunately, you might just end up having to like do that more often than you can to make it work.
So, Burke, you said you took your armor off?
Yep. Yeah. He currently does not have his armor on, so his armor class is only 12.
I prepared all the worst spells. I literally prepared the spells for a talent show. It was not. Besides the Thunder Wave, like, I guess maybe some other shit, but yeah, besides that, I have nothing useful, man.
But yeah, I mean, I have a swimming speed, but I presume that doesn't apply to wearing metal. Because, like, I am a swimmer and I wouldn't want to wear metal while I'm swimming.
But you also cast water breathing, and the rules are kind of wishy-washy anyway when it comes to that.
That's
It just
true.
means you have disadvantage at worst, but you have a swimming speed, so you probably don't make as many checks.
All right, so what is everyone's reaction when
Probably shield, depending on
from
what
about 30 feet away, you watch as an enormous mouth like just pops up above the water, and a tongue reaches out, grabs Burke, and yanks him into this thing's mouth.
Oh, this is not pleasant!
Oh no!
Too much tongue! Too much tongue!
All right, so that is 15 points of piercing damage as the teeth clamp down on you, sir.
From the teeth, not the tongue.
Yes.
I'm guessing initiative?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an 18.
16 initiative for me.
Oh, that's why I wasn't rolling these dice, because then I'm channeling that sound effect into the D&D Beyond, or the stream.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know if the stream heard it.
They probably heard it, because I have it from my audio output.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a 14.
How about you, Nebula?
What is it?
Initiative.
12.
At least we're all together.
18, 16, 14, 12. That is absolutely amusing. Dave, what are you doing?
I am going to light this sucker up. I'm going to take the -5. And I'm thinking frog legs are on the menu tonight.
Nice.
Oh, does a 13 hit?
Does not.
All right. How about a the math 17?
17 does.
All right, and oh shit, man, I was rolling so good. Well, that's gonna miss. That's much lower. And let's see. I guess we're gonna do a bonus action, Chuck. Oh, that's a 27. Oh, that's a natural 20. That's a natural 20. All right, so we'll do the damage for that one first. So that's going to be 14, 24 plus. Come on. You can do this. Oh, why are my dice grayed out? That sucks. I can barely see them. My eyes aren't that great. Let's see. I am sorry for the delay, because I was rolling digital dice and they're failing me currently. All right, so
I got 24 so far.
yeah, 24 plus another 5, and I will burn I will burn a superiority die to we're at D10s now. For another 8 plus 1, so another 9 in addition to that. And let's see. We will we're gonna make it do something. You know what? I am going to use a goading attack. So it has to make a DC 17 wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, it's good. Got a 19.
All right, it is good.
We don't like that.
We don't like that. It's true. And I will action surge.
Okay.
I did not like that. All right, so 3 more attacks. That is a 17 again. A 22 and this is much better. And a 21.
Okay.
All
hit.
right. So, all right, and all right, that is going to be 8, 38, 49.
49 more damage.
Oh, hold on, we're still going 49, 50, 60. And
Shit.
From 2 attacks.
69 points of damage.
From 2 attacks.
Nice.
No. That was 4 attacks.
Oh, okay. So 69 from the 4 attacks.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I thought you were
69
adding
from
that to the
69. No. I'm adding 69 to what I did the first time.
Ooh.
So 4 attacks, 69. Or well, 4 attacks, but 3 of them did 69. I do 30 just from sharpshooter before I start touching dice.
Okay.
Damn.
So, I don't even
Carlos,
know
what is your dex?
I'm sorry.
What is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 20.
Okay. You're up.
Coolio.
As long as you're done, Dave.
Yeah, I'm good.
Under that assumption, yes. That means we're not together, y'all. Anyway. But how far away from Burke when, he got scooped up?
30.
30 feet away?
Yep.
Okay, so okay, Dio. So I'm going to get about 20 feet, right?
Okay.
Bonus action, summon my Eldritch Cannon, Protector, and it's going to attempt to make up the distance 5 more feet. Tick, 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 tick. And as long as if I choose a creature within 10 feet of the turret, I'm going to imbue it with my bonus action 1d8 plus 1 temporary hit points.
Okay.
So okay, well, that's going to be a grand total of 7 temp. I hope that 7 is all what that Jones are gonna do when he nums on you.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
And so the only combat spell I have prepared, because you'll be a fool to not have this prepared, is Fairy Fire as well. So I'm gonna yeah. I'm using a spell slot to cast Fairy Fire.
Okay.
It needs to make a DC 14 Dex save if it hits. So it's basically like a 20-foot cone. I'm sorry, you kind of got hit with that as well. I don't know how that works. If he's in your mouth and you got to make a dex save, does he fail or make?
Yeah. So he is currently grappled.
So I have disadvantage.
Definitely put him in line of whatever it is that you're doing here.
Absolutely. I just don't know if it's like an auto fail or disadvantage.
Oh, it's not disadvantage?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Well, I got a 15 on the die for my first one. Plus 2.
Damn shame, man.
Actually, plus 7. I lied. My dex save is really good.
Well, if it's disadvantage, then you gotta roll again, buddy. See if you get a 1.
If I have disadvantage, I rolled 11 because I rolled twice because I thought I had disadvantage. And so 11 plus 7 is 18.
Yeah, so you'd still be fine. So is it all or nothing, or is it save for half?
Fairy Fire.
It's a Fairy Fire. It's all or nothing. I mean,
Oh, okay.
So if your John made it, it's fine.
Yep.
I mean, it's not okay for me, but for your monster, it's fine.
Yeah, so it jukes to the side, and you manage to not catch a Burke in it as well.
Hey, at least he got the protection. In turn.
That's it. Okay. Well, then it's going to do multiple things. As this thing pulls its massive bulk out of the mire. Apparently, whatever pocket it was in was quite deep. As this thing is easily 20 foot across. The central maw that you are seeing is full of jagged and pointed teeth in a variety of directions, and it might in some horrific way remind you of some kind of twisted frog, but that is the last thing that you think of as a protrusion from one side comes with a serpentine neck that is full of jagged spikes that kind of blend into the hide of this grotesque creature. And at the center of this is a massive eye that just, as you look at it, it just makes you feel uneasy. Whereas to the other side of this mall is another serpentine esque protrusion. This one ends with a massive beak with more tentacles coming off of that. On the back of this thing are a variety of tendrils and tentacles, some of them with suckers, some of them with grips, some of them with what looks like razor-like claws. And as this thing pulls itself to Arnold, I need you to make I need to make a Constitution saving throw.
It's gonna be a 14. I don't think that's gonna do it, buddy, but
So as the creature's gaze falls upon you, you just you just feel that nausea in your stomach. Take 16 points of necrotic damage.
Oh shit! Nice. Hey, I'm at 69.
It will decide to chew on Burke. That is going to be 13 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
And then the beaked side of this thing, it kind of like lunges, like pulls back and shoots forward, and a glob of acid comes flying out in Enzo's direction, but Enzo dodges to the side. I imagine a 12 misses.
Correct.
But it just kind of like sizzles in the swampy muck next to you. And then it is Burke's turn.
Okay then, can I presume that I would maybe have advantage on casting a spell towards this creature's mouth, given that I'm halfway in the mouth?
What spell are you trying to cast?
I would like to cast an ice knife, hoping that it would choke on it.
I think the fact that you're being chewed on is going to take away, any advantage you might have in, trying to take the time to call forth an ice and fling it.
Oh, how
But I
about
like
guiding bolt?
your gusto.
Can I do a guiding bolt easier?
I mean, it would be the same, but you could certainly try.
Let's go with guiding bolt because that's support oriented and might do the fairy fire thing. So I will use my 4th level spell slot to cast guiding bolt.
Oh my god.
76?
That's 15 base plus 8, 23?
That hits.
That'll hit.
Okay, so I need to roll 7d6. 2, 3.
Its armor
4,
class isn't crazy.
5,
I rolled really crappy
6,
the first time, though.
7. Okay. Love that good clacking dice. Ooh, I see 6s. So that's 12 plus 5, 17 plus 12 is 29 plus 2 is 31 radiant damage, and it is now glowing with these brilliant butterfly wings that engulf it, and it's now glowing a brilliant blue.
Robin, are you done?
No, I would like to use a bonus action to scream, please.
I think you can scream as a free action.
Okay, I would like to use the whole bonus action to scream extra long.
All right. Great.
This thing is still up.
Yeah.
Is it bloody at least? Like, does it look hurt?
It is not looking well. It is beyond bloodied.
Can I get it in a fireball without hitting anybody else?
If you aim towards the back, you'll definitely see the be able to. If you throw it behind it, you'll definitely be able to have it not hit Burke, who's in its maw.
So as long as you shove it up its ass, you can definitely miss Burke.
Okay, let's show a fireball up its ass. For 27 fire damage.
Is a frog's ass watertight? Yes, but not fireball proof.
Let's do some quick math. It has gotten a little roasted. You got a bonus action?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect it to survive this long. I didn't expect oh man. Let me come on. Actions page. There we go. What do I have under bonus actions?
Well, you're a bard. You always have a bonus.
Oh
action.
yeah, that's true. I have bardic inspirations. Who's up after me?
Dave.
Dave. Enzo, please. Fire it up.
I will do my best. That is a 22 to hit.
Yep.
And do we think that'll hit or not? That's a 16. I'm gonna use the bardic inspiration on the 16. Making it a 17. And I think that hit before.
Well, you know a 17 did hit before.
Yes.
So what is your minimum damage?
Right now I'm at 51.
Don't bother. Save yourself the time. That puts it right at around 200 damage taken. That thing goes down. I need Burke though to give me a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. Well, I'm theoretically good at these.
Well, let's find out about actually.
11 plus 6 is 17.
Numbers, yes.
Yes, I am proficient in those as a ranger.
All right, so as the bulk of this thing starts to sink down in the mire, you're able to wrestle yourself out of this thing's tongue before it begins to sink and pull you with it. And while you could definitely breathe in water, I don't know how well you can breathe in corpse. But you managed to break free of this thing as it begins to sink back into the swamp.
That's definitely a different spell, breathing corpse.
Well, that was not incredibly pleasant, but this is not the worst thing I've been covered in.
Wow.
I feel like there's a story there. Hey, Carlos, are you not a 9th level artificer?
No, I am not. I'm a 9th level fighter.
Oh, heck.
What level are we?
13, according to my sheet.
Okay, then I'm right.
Before we, if that, assuming that's it, I'm gonna yell to everyone, "Hey, come next to my cannon real fast."
Okay.
Sure. Why?
Sloshes over.
Anyone who agrees to come over next to my cannon, I before the battle ends, I can give you a teeny weeny bit of, because I can't do it. I can only summon one cannon per long rest, unless I expel a spell slot, and I'm down to my last spell slot. So get him while you got him.
So, how many temporary hit points?
It's going. Oh shit! I gotta roll 1d8 plus 1. 4. It's 4 more temp points in your head.
Take it.
Did anybody take damage besides me?
I don't think so.
Carlos.
Oh, Carlos. Never mind.
Arnold took necrotic damage, like 17.
Okay, I will just summon a handful of good berries so I have them for 24 hours. And I will give him one, and I will also eat one. And so you will end up recovering 4 hit points from 1.
I have the four. I don't know. I'm torn between being my player and my character, man. So literally, my hit points is at 69 perfectly right now.
Oh,
And I
the 4 you got back from Burke only gives you 2.
Oh.
I mean, I haven't decided to consume them yet.
Ah, okay. Well, it takes double the amount of healing to get those necrotic damage back.
Oh. Burke will
Burke,
just, like, if you tell him this or if he realizes this, I don't know, do I realize this? Maybe
Well,
I should ask before I do a thing.
He's gonna hold on to it and be like, "Thank you, I appreciate your gift, but I feel nice right now."
Does he look nice?
No, I mean his there's an area and you can pick where that like he's definitely like seeing rotting flesh.
Oh, with all due respect, I would like to advise you that you have a bit of rotting flesh right there, and it's flaking off just a little bit. And we are about to go into a swamp where there is a great deal of muck, and infection is very difficult to cure.
I mean, spore berries are gonna make the difference.
Well, here, you can have all these berries then, and he will give you 8 more berries. Each one does 4.
You know what? I was gonna not heal for the meme, but I think this is funnier. Okay. How much? So
You have 9 berries times 4, so that's 36 divided in half is
18.
going to be 18.
So if you ate all of them, which would be the equivalent to 9 meals,
I'm gonna
it would
shit
heal
hard.
all of your hit points.
Not just. Well, I mean, I'm at a 87 out of 90 right now, which I highly appreciate, mind you. But
You know, if
I
I'd been
have-
thinking, I could have fed all of these berries to the monster, and it would not have wanted to eat me, and then we wouldn't have had to kill it.
damn, you're right.
I'm
But-
not sure. I'm not sure you are. I have cure wounds if you want another.
It's just, I mean, I feel okay for the most part. Save your magical energy. Your magical energy is a precious resource.
As you like.
But boy, howdy, I feel like I will not be able to get drunk for a while.
So, have any of you guys seen or heard of anything like this thing?
Have I?
No.
No.
I mean,
So far, the actual monsters that you have encountered, I don't know if you as players or you as characters have picked up on it, but everything has been chimeric.
Oh.
Nope, totally missed
And
that part.
Not sure if you as players remember, but your characters would absolutely know that you were Team Sensational Chimera.
That's exactly where my brain went, and I just sort of like... Burke like voices this out loud, and then looks at Nebula, and then Enzo, and like he gets this really grim frown for a minute, like a child who's realized that their pet actually died, and is like, "Are we
so
responsible for all of this?"
if you don't mind me asking, out of character or maybe in character, I don't know. Has Arnold been fighting nothing but chimeras as well at this point?
No, you didn't see chimeric creatures
No, I'm talking like
on
the
any of
last
your
2
hunting
years.
missions
The last 2 years.
prior to these guys showing up.
These assholes are the problem. Nothing good. Gallant Gifts forever. Mm.
Nebula, is
mean-
that possible?
You know, we've seen a lot of things be possible that I would have questioned before getting into all of this. I don't think this is our fault. We didn't choose to do any of that.
But what if we
Yeah,
did?
I mean, it's Tabitha and that cheating flump. Clearly, they're to blame.
I mean, I didn't think Tabitha was going to turn against us either, but maybe this place messes with your mind or something. I don't know. Illusion magic and enchantment magic is very powerful. That's why it's illegal most places. You're muted, Carlos.
Oh, this is not an illusion, Burke. An illusion means I wouldn't be able to survive this long just off the substance of the land. It's more than that.
It's
It's a
synthetic.
child. Yeah, it's a child playing make-believe, if you will. And we... you all are their stars. I'm sorry, I'm got more wisdom about myself since I've eaten your numerous berries.
That's okay.
Drunk on berries.
I can make more if you want me to.
No, and I insist no.
Also, full disclosure, if you eat more than two, they kind of have a laxative effect.
I see. That explains. I'll be right back, y'all.
If the
As
gift
Arnold-
scale starts spinning, run.
So ironic. So I am gonna go off screen for 5 seconds. Arnold will as well. Arnold will come back when I come back.
Go poop, Carlos.
So as you guys are, talking and licking your wounds, you can, feel, just as you saw the water and felt the water kind of come at you, the opposite is now happening as the swamp seems to be leaving just as quickly as it arrived.
Huh. I kind of feel special. They put the swamp here just for us.
If this place changes so easily, Nebula, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but my thought would tell me that then it's possible that the mountains we're going to might not even be the right mountains anymore.
It is possible, but what is your alternative plan to going there?
I don't know. I guess I'm very good at coming up with a thought and then not having a follow-up to the thought. I'm not very intelligent. If we were quantifying intelligence in terms of scores that you might receive in school from like 1 to 20, I would probably sit comfortably at a 12.
That's still above average. All right. So I think that we should go anyway, because the odds are better that they have not used the resources to move them than they are that they have done that. Occam's razor.
Who is Occam?
Oh, I have no idea. He's a dude that came up with a razor to slice the core of a problem, which is basically the simplest solution is usually the best one.
Is this an Eladrin god? Because Arnold and I were having a discussion about philosophy and gods earlier, and he was telling me about a hippo vending machine, and It grants your wishes.
I don't know.
And
My
shoots you.
parents only ever actually like celebrated the summer solstice and sometimes the winter one. We were really terrible at the whole religion thing.
Oh. Well, apparently, this hippo vending machine can shoot things and give them freedom and liberation and justice.
As Arnold comes in at the tail end of that, no pun intended. Yes. My God grants those who believe, the ability to defend themselves, and thus be able to spread freedom from oppressors, from those that would cause harm upon the giftiness, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, Belize just likes butterflies and living things and the dawn and the dusk and songs.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what was discussed when I was gone out of character?
The swamp disappeared.
Yeah, the swamp disappeared, and then we had a conversation about religion.
That's what you came back to.
Enzo, do humans have gods like that? You know, like gun wish granters or dawn and dusk celebrators or the seasons.
Humans, like everybody else, have gods for everything. But, as technology got more advanced, people worship gods less and less. I mean, there's still clerics,
I mean, I lived amongst humans once. I can't say too much about their beliefs or whatever, but there was this one country called America. They believed in guns.
I leave the clerics to the gods, and I just try and cook.
You lived among humans, Arnold? How did that work out?
Literally, he is having PTSD moments of the Men in Black. Not well.
I mean, didn't Arnold tell us he lived in an enclosure in something called a zoo?
Yeah, I lived in a zoo for a little while. It's basically jail. It's a jail where, multiple species of animals, if you will. That's what they call them, animals. We believe how barbaric we're a race. Idiots. But they will take these animals and then put them in a zoo, per se, a prison. And, yeah, we did what we did. Just to have our own little fun, our own slice of paradise. The biggest business out there, bust out his flask. Just, just shug shit around. But, you know what? More importantly, it's about what we did back at that time was more about making sure having each other's backs. So,
speaking of having each other's backs, what do you think they're going to throw at us next? Swamp with a crazy swamp frog monster. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
Probably some other kind of chimera.
Depending on what the DM decides.
I don't know what lives in the mountains.
I mean, are we sure we're not going to hit something before we get to the mountains? I mean, who knows? Maybe there's going to be a desert after the swamp.
I would like to take a perception check, if you don't mind, to check our distance between the mountains.
Sure.
You know what? It's not great, and the session's almost over, so I'm going to use my inspiration.
Sure.
Use it or you lose it or you lose it, right, man?
Yep.
Okay. How you feel about a 21?
So you've got another couple hours of travel.
So, I tell the guys, like, we're getting closer, inching our way, but we have about maybe a few more short rests before we get there.
Well, that's one foot in front of the other then. Make this happen.
Absolutely.
So as you begin your march, your thoughts go back to, you haven't been in this prison, for lack of a better word, for anywhere near as long as Arnold and what have you. But the three of you that are the more newer residents here, your thoughts begin to drift, bouncing back and forth between your time here, your time in the competition. Enzo, what are you thinking?
I think it's a collage of like all my cooking moments and my rivalries with Chef Bob. And as much as I hate Chef Bob, I kind of miss him. Kind of pushed me to be better, and really got my competitive juices going. So I'm kind of like
How about
wondering
you, Nebula?
what happened to Chef Bob.
He didn't win, and then you don't know. Once you landed here, who knows? He could be wallowing in misery because you beat him here, or he could be thrilled that you're not competition for him. He could be living it up at home. What about Nebula? What thoughts are going through her mind as all of this cycles through your mind?
Yeah, she's thinking of a rival too that is not quite so much of a rival anymore, and she's hoping that Serafina is okay. In contrast.
Okay. How about you, Burke?
Burke is thinking about his home and his family and how he wanted so bad to get away from them, to get away from his boring farm life of day in and day out and live the life of the dungeoneer. And now that he's literally been on his favorite TV show and he's lived this adventurous life, he finds himself going back to the traditions and the little things that he was so ready to get away from that now bring him comfort.
You got to meet the Dungeoneer too.
He did.
So, okay.
No, I was just going to say, and it wasn't nearly as cool as he expected it would be comparatively.
And Arnold, who you've been, in Cast Off for quite a long time, and you've had many different places that for shortened durations you've called home. And now that you've found, this trio that, I don't know if you collected or if they've collected you, but you've fought side by side with them, and they seem to be full of this vision that escape is a possibility, where many of your brethren in Cast Off have kind of given up that hope. What is going through your mind as the passion of these newcomers that escape is a possibility? rings in just about every step that they take.
There is a multiple feelings, emotions, and thoughts going on within Arnold. First and foremost, he's more or less trying to keep a sense of himself in whatever reality that he thought was real. And as he thinks about that, he keeps wondering tangents here and there. Are they real? Are they here to plot my downfall? I don't know. No. They have helped me way more than they threw stones in my path. They have to want the same thing as I want, to just be out of here, of whoever here is. And that is the constant cyclical, almost like an Ouroboros, that Arnold's having those thoughts, second guessing himself into a circle.
Now, you've been here for 2 years, and others have come saying, well, I'm going to get out. And those most fervent never came back to cast off. It's possible that they got out, but more likely that they've perished in the attempt. Could all of them be so selfish as to find a way out and not make it back? Or is it more likely that they've died in the attempt and that you yourself are now walking possibly the same path that they have? Now, are you fervent like the others that perhaps this is the right mix? Or are you worried that maybe you're all walking to your deaths, that escape is not possible? Or is there another thought of escape is possible, but you can't go back and get your brethren?
There's been multiple thoughts in that avenue where Arnold has prayed to the great gift in the sky, kind of like the duality within each prayer, subtly. Whereas, if they made it, may the great gift bless them. If they haven't, I hope they made peace of some kind. And as we proceed through with the unknown, Arnold knows one thing for certain. Either which way, no matter how the dice fall, he's gonna find his peace.
And with that, that's where we're going to leave this session of Dungeons and Delving. Come on back next week as we see how this story continues to unravel. See whether we find an escape, whether we find another game show to see what happens next. But we'll be right back here on the channel. And until next time.